Hello, hello people, hello. Gotta turn on my face cam here. There we go, there I am. Hello. Back for another Tina stream. It is Tuesday. I'm a bit late. By a bit, I mean a couple hours. It's currently noon. I was supposed to start at 10 a.m., but I went to bed late and I woke up late. Woke up at like 9:30. I just took my time and just decided to start now instead of 10. I'm not doing anything today, so I've got the time. Facecam is back today. I haven't had my facecam on for the past couple of streams. I generally just look a mess, but I look okay today. My hair's a mess, but I look alright today. I am eating, as usual. I know I had time to eat, but I still procrastinated. So I'm eating some bulldog, which is probably the worst thing for streaming. Spicy, gets my nose runny and my throat. It like coats my mucus and all that stuff, so probably not that great for streaming, but I gotta eat, and we don't have all that much available, so we'll eat some bulldog. And some coffee for caffeine, which is also not great for streaming. But I've got some water, and hopefully I can power through it. So, go ahead and get started. If I remember correctly, all we're doing here in Mount Craw is just looking for a single die. Just this one lucky die and a scroll. We have all this area to go through. I have really no idea where it could be. Could be anywhere, you know? The map doesn't tell you where stuff could be. And I'm not good enough to, have that kind of game sense. Just find it out of nowhere. I think we might be here for a bit. I would like to find it before I move on. I don't want to just move on again and then come back another time. I would rather find it, before we move on. Give me a moment. I'm going to close my window. Didn't realize it was open. Go. Excuse me. Jeez. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Scroll is going to be definitely tricky to find. They usually are. Oh, God. They are usually pretty tricky to figure out where they're located. And Mount Craw is probably one of the more densely packed areas. So we're probably going to be here for a while. I guess for the scroll, I would probably be looking at like houses, villages, random platforms, like wooden platforms that might have some kind of item on them. So I'm most likely going to have to clear out as many encampments as I can, so I can actually take the time to look around. Usually whenever I do all that, I'll do kind of a quick pass and kind of just leave without actually doing a thorough search, but try to do as thorough of a search as we can. This area doesn't really need to be cleared, as we can see everything anyways. As we move into like that village over there, got this one right there, that one up there. I know we've gone through each one multiple times at this point, but would have thought we would have, you know, found the die already in the scroll. We haven't, so that warrants no, more thorough look, I would say. So how's everyone doing? Like I said, I went to bed late last night for whatever reason. I keep forgetting that I have a bottle of melatonin that I could be taking, you know, if I need to go to bed earlier. But I always forget that I have it. I just don't take it that often. I bought it almost a year ago when I started working at a warehouse. You know, I was on the job search and everything, and I started working at Amazon. And I wanted to take melatonin, you know, right when I got home, so I would fall asleep. And then on my days off, I would take melatonin. But I just haven't taken it that often since then. It's just kind of been chilling on my dresser. Yeah, I've been kind of having, I guess you could say, sleep issues. I wouldn't say it's like full-blown insomnia. I haven't been staying up 24 hours at a time or anything like that, but sometimes it's pretty tricky for me to go to bed early, and I end up staying up on my phone for a few hours. God, the lag. I appreciate if the game didn't break so early in the stream. I'm gonna have to develop some kind of like method to going through the houses like this, because to be honest with you, at a certain point they kind of just confuse me. Never know which ones I've already, you know, went through, and you know, the enemies like those ones over there always shake up the screen and toss me around. I get all anxious and stressed out. Let's get a good view of what we're dealing with, and just go through each house as it. Got these two right here. Let's just go through these two. Oh, never mind. We've got another one over here. Let's save that area for later. That's a whole nother area over there. Let's go through this house, that one, and that one. And, you know, this little shack right there. I think that's part of this house. Thankfully, we can't really go inside most of the houses in this game. We're kind of just going around the houses, looking around. You know, every once in a while we can. Gonna have to keep an eye out. There's that. Got this house and the little shack area, whatever you want to call it. Dead. Nothing up here. Nothing on the roof. Can't see anything from up here either. The roofs probably give us the best chance of just spotting it on the ground or on a platform or something, but I do not spot anything. Up here. I'm pretty sure none of the scrolls, or any collectibles for that matter, I don't think they ever spawn in these barrels or containers or anything like that. Boxes. So I'm kind of just destroying them to destroy them, but I don't know. Alright, well there's that house. Let's go ahead and go on to this one. Some of them we can go under the houses too, like again, gotta keep an eye out. This isn't the same vantage point we had earlier, actually. Yeah, we came up from all the way up there. We got through that one. There was one, like, behind there. We did this one. See what we can get to from here. It's gonna take forever. Even the smaller village, I mean, no enemies. So many houses. Go through this one. Go through... I guess this one here and this one here on the dock. Do those three. Oh, I don't see anything here. I started watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier the other day. The Marvel show. And I don't know, so far it seems okay. I'm not all the way through yet. I think I just finished episode 4, or I might be in the middle of episode 4. Each episode's like an hour long, so there's still plenty of the show left. I'm going off track here, sorry. There's still plenty of show left, I just haven't gotten through it all. It seems alright, though. I'm enjoying it a bit more than I liked WandaVision, to be honest. It's kind of making me realize the tone that they're going for now. Well, I say now as if, you know, they just started making the show, but I'm seeing it for the first time. And I'm noticing the tone that they're going for is definitely a lot different than all the Phase 3 movies. Most of those were pretty, I wouldn't say lighthearted, but like, I guess more fun and like unserious and more of a, it's kind of a fun experience to watch, kind of like a blockbuster type of thing. I mean, most of the movies were blockbusters, if that makes sense, but you know, now that everything in Infinity War and Endgame has gone down, it's a bit more grounded, gritty. The characters seem like they get into arguments a lot. Um, Nobody really likes each other. Nobody really knows what's going on. Like, generally, like when we had Cap and Steve Rogers and Iron Man around, they kept talking about, oh, we have tabs on these people in these organizations to make sure that they don't go rogue or something like that. And Tony's always working on new gadgets or whatever for the team. Everyone's training for new threats. Now everything's like decentralized, disbanded, all this stuff. So everything's kind of, I don't know, just up in the air for now. Um, which is different. Again, I think it's kind of jarring for us to just be thrown into that out of nowhere. Um, I get they can't spend like a whole year setting up a new phase of the MCU, especially during COVID. But I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. We had Infinity War and Endgame, and those felt a certain way, and then all of a sudden everything feels so dark and like doomy and or doomful. I guess I don't know. Doomy and gloomy.
I hate you, and you, you're okay!
Excuse me. It also feels a little strange to move off of the movies. Um, you know, up until Phase 4, there were no shows, at least not in the MCU. There were other shows like Iron Fist and Luke Cage and stuff like that, Cloak and Dagger, but none of them were canon to the MCU as far as I know. At least they're not listed as canon on Disney Plus. Sorry, let me see what houses we want to hit next. I think we just got done with that one, and that one. Let's do this one, I guess this one right there. Yeah, it's just kind of weird to move off of the movies. You know, the longest one we had so far, I think, was Endgame. But now, shows are at least 4 hours long. WandaVision, I think, was shorter than Winter Soldier. You know, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Each episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier is like I said, like an hour long. And there's 6 episodes, so about 6 hours of content. WandaVision, I think the episodes were closer to half an hour each. There were 8 episodes, so about 4 hours of content, maybe a little less, 3.5, 4 hours, which is a little closer to a movie. But Winter Soldier is definitely not any conventional movie. So that's also a little bit different. I'm having to sit down and like space out when I want to watch the show, how much I think I can pay attention to, and all that stuff. Which also is, different because it slows down the pace of how you progress through the MCU. I kind of just blew through like phase 1 and phase 2, no problem. Phase 3 took me a bit longer because there's just more movies. Um, but phase 4 so far has felt the longest. I don't know if it's taken me the longest yet, but it's definitely felt the longest so far. Alright, I think that's all the houses in here. Unless I'm missing a... I don't think I am, though. We already did that one. That was the first one we hit. Got that one and that one. That one over there. That one way on the docks. The other one on the docks. That one that's like a double house. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So that whole area, you know, combed through, and we didn't see anything. So let's go ahead and move on to over here. Thankfully, this part of the map eventually terminates once we go far enough. So we're not going to be here too long. But yeah, probably gonna finish that show today. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'll start Loki. And I have seen Loki, so I'm excited to get through that again. What I remember, it was pretty enjoyable. I don't know, maybe I'll change my mind, having, you know, caught up to it like this. I did like Loki Season 1. I know there's a Season 2 now, so I'm excited about that. And I don't remember what comes after that. I don't know if we continue with the shows. I remember Hawkeye came out around that time, but I don't know if that's like... in the correct chronological order, you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm supposed to watch Hawkeye right after Loki, or like, I don't know, after some other movie. So I'll find that out. Look like there's anything over here either. There's not too much to go through. Some platforms, and that little tunnel over there, and this one. Nothing over here, so. Go ahead and head down here. Now, I know there's some enemies down here, so we're gonna have to be fighting for a bit. Okay. And it's a bit harder to see. I know the rest of the map is kind of like this as well, so we're gonna maybe have a hard time just seeing, but get through it. Unfortunately, I haven't really been watching many other shows besides Marvel. There's not much I want to keep up with right now. I kind of was afraid to start Marvel in the first place because of how much I would have to keep up with. And now that I'm on the shows, I'm realizing, you know, how much attention I have to put into watching the shows. And, you know, once I'm done watching all of them, I'm not really sure I want to watch something more serious and more, you know, involved, like Severance, I don't know, Bones, Sopranos, Better Call Saul, that kind of thing. Like the more critically acclaimed shows. I did watch Breaking Bad. That was fine. I don't know if I want to go back and watch all of it again. 5 seasons or whatever. Even a sitcom like Big Bang or Friends, The Office, feels like a lot to watch. So. You know, maybe I'll get through it eventually and watch those shows. This feels like a lot of work. just to sit down and pay attention for like 7, 8 at a time. To be fair, though, I guess I won't really have anything to watch once I get through Marvel. I didn't really think about it, actually. So I guess, I don't know, maybe if I guess maybe if I do take a liking to filling up my free time with TV, I should find something to watch, but I don't usually do that. So I don't know.
What's a hero got to do to get a bullet around here? Thanks for coming. Oh, I'm not. Something am I? Oh, no. I'm all you got. Go for the eye! I told you. Did I win?
I do suspect, though, once I do finish Marvel, probably going to be starting work up again. I do have all of July, you know, to catch up with Marvel, but again, there's like, I don't know, Hawkeye, Loki Season 1 and 2, apparently Wolf by Night is a thing, Echo is a thing, Moon Knight, and all the movies. And now Ironheart, I think Ironheart just released like yesterday or today or something. So there's definitely a lot more for me to get through. I don't know, I just feel like once I finish up and catch up with, you know, Fantastic Four, probably gonna be, you know, working again, so probably most of my time will be taken up by that and streaming. No, I'll update you guys if I had to pick up any other shows. I don't have any on the docket so far. There we go. Okay. God, takes forever to clear out like 5 enemies. Alright. Now, I don't see anything here, and it doesn't really look like there's much to explore here. A lot of open space and not a lot of, I don't know, like complex layouts. I'd definitely be able to see like a scroll or a die over here, but I don't see any. So, probably just move on. I feel like once I finally do find this stuff, I'm gonna feel real dumb. Probably gonna be in like the most obvious spot ever. Probably gonna be right at the end of the map too. I'm gonna go through this entire map like this. Right at the end, I'm gonna see. Alright, let's go ahead and move on. I think we have a couple more villages up in this kind of surface area here before we start to go underground. Go ahead and do those. And if I'm a betting man, pretty sure just about every area from now on has enemies. Definitely gonna have to grind through all of that. Be annoying. I mean, what else are we gonna do, right? The only other things we have to do in this game, once we get through all of these secrets, you know, the different maps, just have to get to Chaos level 100, which I did say I'd probably mostly do off stream. I have not done any since last week. I honestly just kind of forgot, but I'm gonna do most of those off stream. I believe we need like 20 more or something to max out at level 100, and we've only done about 14 or 15 of them so far. You know, take out, or if you take a look at how long it took us to get to
I don't know if I lost them, but
number 13 or whatever it was, number 14,
I just need a second.
and we have to do 20 more, like you can imagine. Take forever to do
These might
that,
be
so.
lessons.